أهلا بكم طالبات وطلاب جريد 1 بريب. برحب بكم في حلقة ماث جديدة تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. Today we are going to talk about samples and what does a sample mean and the types of samples, which are the systematic samples and random sample. And also we will talk about the definition of each one of them. So let's get started. Samples. First, we are going to talk about the definition of a sample. A sample is a small part from a large society that looks like this society and represents it well and is selected randomly. So what does it mean? We are going to pick or select a small part from the society, من المجتمع, to show some properties, to talk about this small part from the society. And notice that the selected sample should wholly represent the society, the object of study. So for example, if we need to study anything in the society, I'm gonna pick some or a small part from this society to study this property or this thing. Okay, then it shouldn't be based on certain group and neglect the others. So the results of the study can be near reality and we can make the decisions according to these results. So we can generalize these results on the society as a whole. So for example, if we need to study any property on the society, so we need to pick a small part from it. Here we have a condition. It shouldn't be based on a certain group, okay? So I'm gonna pick any part of this society, okay? A small part of it. Then, the types of samples. As we said, there are two types of it. Here we have samples are classified according to the way used in the selecting its items. And in this lesson, we will introduce the two types of it. Number one, systematic sample. From its name, we have a system to pick or to select this sample. So number one is systematic sample. And keep in mind, we have a system or a rule. Number two, random sample. Random بطريقة عشوائية. Okay. To be clear for you, we have this video from the EKB. Let's watch it with each other.
In this unit, we are going to learn about a different section of mathematics. It is the statistics, which is useful and enjoyable at the same time. Statistics is built on different concepts. The simplest one is the sample. That means the selected part. But the question here is how we select this part. If you want to identify how, click on each type. Here is the systematic sample, where we can select a sample by applying a certain system or method. For example, the person must be chosen after two unselected persons. Systematic sample can be applied also by a specific ratio. Thus, if there is a class consisting of 30 students and the required systematic sample is 10%, this means we would choose 3 students. But according to a certain rule, like we can take 10th, 20th, or 30th. The second way of selecting a sample is random sample that can be executed into 2 ways. The first is manual method, where every individual of the society is given a number, and this number is written on a symmetrical piece of paper. Then each piece of paper is folded perfectly and is kept in a bag and mixed together very well. After that, Draw a piece after the other to get the required number of the sample. This was the manual method to get a random sample. But what about the other method? The other way is using the random number function shift random on the scientific calculator. As a result of this function, you will have many random numbers that are all decimal numbers. Therefore, it is better to take the apparent numbers without a decimal point and hold a comparison between these numbers and the whole number of the society. If these numbers are less than the whole number of the society, let's say it is 100 here, you have to accept them as in the figure. On the other hand, if the numbers are greater than the whole number of the society, immediately ignore them. Generally, no way is better than the other, as each of them has its advantages and disadvantages and also has its suitable application.
زي ما شفنا في الفيديو مع بعض هنا اتكلمنا على types of samples, and we are gonna do the first or the second type of the sample, which is random sample. There are two types. The first one, systematic sample, and the second one, random sample. Here we have some cards. As you can see here, we have the same size of papers. I'm gonna write some numbers on it. For example, number 1, and fold it with the same folding way. And also write number 2, folding it. Then we have another one. We are gonna make the random sample. Write some numbers on the cards, then we are gonna select one of them. This way is called, here it is, random sample, and its type is called manual. Okay, why manual? Because we are doing it with writing the numbers on the cards. Then here we have 4 cards. I'm gonna pick one of them. So when you pick one of the cards that you wrote, okay, on them some numbers, this way is called random sample. Okay, and what is it called? Which way we are using it now? We are using the manual method for it. That's all about the first part. Here we are going to talk about the systematic sample. In this sample, whose elements are selected from the elements of a society distributed randomly by following a certain system or method in selection. For example, to select a systematic sample representing 10% of the marks of the students in the preparatory school in the mid-year exam in math. To study the standard of the students, we will do as follows. Here we have 1. The students must be distributed randomly in a numbered list. Selection shouldn't be from a certain classes as excellent students classes. مش ضروري ان انا اختار من ال excellent students. انا عايزة اختار بشكل عشوائي randomly. The selecting certain classes and neglecting the others. So here we have a rule. Don't pick the students from the excellent classes. Don't pick them according to any rule, just by the randomly way. We select in a regular way the 10th students in each 10. Let me read the example here for you. To select a systematic sample representing 10% of marks of the students in preparatory school in the mid-year exam in math to study the standards of students, we will do as follows. We explain the first step, now the second step. We select in a regular way the 10th students in each 10 students from the students list. We select in a regular way, as we said, the 10th students from the list. Here we have a remark. In the society, the object of a study, it's already divided into classes or groups, as the school is divided into classes for boys and others for girls. Then, we select a part of each group to be represented in a sample of that. The sample represented the society as a whole. What does it mean? remark هنا بتقول إيه؟ إن أنا عندي society and I need to pick an object to study it. Any property. As we know, في أي school we have boys classes and girls classes. So here we have a rule for the boys and the girls. But here, for the boys and the other girls, then we will select a part from each to represent the sample that the sample represented in the society as a whole. لازم تمثل المجتمع ككل. يعني أنا ما بختارش حاجة معينة وأتكلم عنها، أنا بختار بشكل بحيث يمثل الفئة أو المجتمع اللي أنا هتكلم عنه. Second, random sample. It is a sample whose elements are selected from the elements of a society distributed randomly by following a random and irregular method of selecting. As we did it right now, هنا إحنا كتبنا some numbers on the cards and we folded by the same way. This way, or this sample is called random sample. Here it is, which way did we do it? We did it by the manual way. And then we can pick any one or select any one of them. In this sample, each individual must get the same chance of selecting. What is the meaning of same chance? Here I didn't write any number more than one time, just once, okay? So I wrote number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. But not allowed to write, for example, number 4 3 times. No, we have the same chance. If you repeat number 1 2 times, so you have to repeat number 2 2 times, you have to repeat number 3 also 2 times, and number 4 2 times. So to get the same chance for the selecting. And the two ways are the manual method, as we did it right now, and the second by using the scientific calculator, okay? The first one, manual method. It is done as follows. Number 1, every member of the society is given a number, then this number is written on a piece of a paper such that all pieces of paper are of the same color and size. Here we have the same color, all of them are yellow, and the same size, okay? Must be or must have the same size and the same color. Then each piece of a paper is folded perfectly such that the written number doesn't appear, and it is put on a bag or a box of the mixed together very well. Now I need to put them on a bag or a box, okay? Then pick one of them. This is the manual method. Okay, do you remember the competition for anything? We can do this one this way, okay? Write our numbers here just one time, then let me ask another one to pick a name of them. This way is called manual method. 3, the selection is carried out by drawing a piece after piece without looking inside the paper till the operation of drawing is finished, when the required number of selected members is done, as we did it right now. Now we are going to talk about the second way, which is scientific calculator. I'm going to use the scientific calculator. Each one of you has this calculator to pick any, or to do this example. Here we have. This method depends on using random numbers function on the scientific calculator shown in the opposite figure. Here it is, it's clear for you, by pressing the following keys by each other or after each other. Successively means after each other. Number 1, we have to pick or click on shift. As you can see here, it's at the top to the left way. Shift. Second, ran, the decimal point on the calculator. Third, equal sign at the bottom to the right. Fourth, SD, to convert this this one we are going to use it to convert from fraction to decimal. Okay, so I have 4 buttons. The first one, shift, then ran or the decimal point, then equal, then SD. By using it, we will get some numbers, 0 point and 3 digits. Ignore the 0 point and imagine we have 3-digit numbers. Then, a random number in the range it will be from 0.000, as I said, to 0.999, 3 digits. Ignore the 0 and the decimal point. Ignore them and read the numbers. So, will appear every time. Then, without the decimal point, read the numbers which are greater than the whole number of the society under study should be ignored, and also if a number is represented, it must be ignored and taken once only. So, if you see any number of them, you can write it without the decimal point and the 0, then use it one time. 2. In any survey, a 10% samples is considered adequate to provide reliable information about the whole society. Reliable, trusted, or معلومات مؤكدة أو ثابتة, okay? And here to provide the reliable information about the whole society. For example, here we have a factory has 300 workers. The people in charge of the monthly magazine of this factory want to develop this magazine by doing a survey of a sample representing 10% of the total number of the workers in this factory. Show how the selection of these samples can be carried out using the calculator. Since the number of workers in the factory equals 300 workers, therefore the number of random sample is equal to 10% times 300. How can we make it? 10 over 100 times 300. By using the calculator, you will get 30 workers, or you can do it mentally, of course. Then we want to select 30 workers to do this survey. The selection operation can be carried out as follows. Number 1, each worker in the factory is given a number from 1 to 300. Second, use the calculator to select 30 numbers randomly by method mentioned before, the scientific calculator, by using the scientific calculator. How can we do it? I'm going to return back to the calculator. Yes, this is our calculator. I need to pick some numbers by using the calculator. Here we have the first step. Click on shift. Second, ran, then equal, then SD. You will get a number. Write it. Then do the same step again. Shift, ran, equal, SD. You will get another number. Then write these numbers. That is the way to select by using the scientific calculator. So in today's lesson, we talked about the samples and what does it mean and the types of samples. We said there are systematic samples and random sample. And we can use it or we can apply it by which way? We have two ways. The first one is for the random sample or manual way. The second by using the scientific notation calculator. That's all about today's lesson. Thank you so much. I hope it was clear for everyone. Bye-bye.